Meeting called to order at 7:02 PM. Pam, you're an alternate, right?
Yes.
So you're seated. No public to participate. We need approval of the minutes. Anyone have a chance to read them and would like to make motion?
Can somebody put them up on the screen? I do recall that there was something on it that I wanted to comment on, but I don't have them in front of me. I believe it had to do with the part where my request for funding was approved, but it didn't say what it was approved for. It was incomplete.
Okay,
That's
I'm
the
sharing
agenda.
it
Do you have
now.
Do you have
the
the
minutes.
minute?
Let me go find it. You can share it too if you've got them open on your computer.
I do not. I'm on a different computer. So it's, Grace keeps sending all the things to my work address and I'm on my personal computer.
May you try and do it?
Do you
I
have the
don't-
minutes
I
from the
don't
last
have-
meeting?
I don't have the minutes, so I can't do it.
I can probably do it. What time, when she send those minutes anyhow?
She
It's
sent
like
them,
a week after the last meeting.
yeah, she sent it pretty close after the last meeting. So it'd be early October.
Yeah.
She also must take a second oath, judicial oath, but it's not clear when or where that will take place. Tamara Keith and
The state of Arizona is reporting some of the highest coronavirus infection and death rates during the pandemic so far.
10 or 28th, right?
Reports the pandemic may be a big influence.
That would be right.
Early voting is well underway in Arizona, where 62-year-old Republican Kathleen Wynne said friends.
Does that work?
She thinks President
Well, let's see if I can get this. There we go.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, in old business, I said, it says that the health department turned down the request for gas station property. I think they asked for it to be revised, not just turned it down.
Dennis doesn't. She says it's the president's cavalier attitude.
And
Here it is. By the time coronavirus cases are rising in parts of the nation, President Trump continues to say the country is
Because the P&Z report, it says gas station was discussed. Oh, Cenexa property was approved. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Gene. Good pickup.
Crystal Adams,
remember, oh yeah, item H in old business, pillow request for funds was approved. And I think that needs to be a little bit more explicit. I mean, I requested funds for the Walktober event to support printing expenses for Walktober. I mean, people do read these minutes and that's not a very good, I think we could do better.
Okay, so Grace, when you're listening to this recording, can you amend those two things? Anyone else have any comments?
no, this is Crystal Adams. I make a motion to approve the minutes
Oh.
as amended.
Shoot, we forgot. Okay.
Yeah.
We forgot to state our names.
No. Who are you, Lee?
Yeah, can we back up and all state our names for the recording? Lee Wessler, Chair.
Crystal Adams,
Jean
Jordan.
Pillow.
Jordan Stern.
Pam Spaeth.
Beth is muted.
Beth.
You're muted, Beth.
I'm muted.
No, Beth is.
Beth
Oh.
Bernard.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I was on mute.
Okay, so everybody stated their name. Now, who made the motion to approve the minutes?
This is Crystal Adams. I did.
And anyone second?
I'll second as amended.
Okay, Gene Pillow seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain,
Okay,
wasn't there.
Jordan wasn't there. Okay, chairman has nothing to report. Treasurer, like, Crystal, did Grace said she dropped off numbers for you? Anything
Yep,
changed?
This is Crystal Adams, and the numbers she gave me was in the regular budget, $1,844.38. And in the special revenue, she gave me $2,161.10.
Okay,
Well, I got my this is Jean. I did get my reimbursement check, so I assume that reflects that amount was deducted.
okay. Communications. I got an email from Beth Zimmerman about a webinar, a virtual Walktober event at the Fen. Thursday, October 29th, 7 to 8:15. That's through that's through the last Green Valley.
I think
So
it's
it
walked
must-
over time.
Yeah. So that's available. And Crystal, did Grace leave you any communications?
I checked the mailbox and there was one of those Connecticut Wildlife magazines.
Okay. Then you're the lucky one who gets to read it, Crystal.
Yep.
Okay. Old business. No DRC report. Gene, anything to comment on DRC?
Did you see it in the packet? There was something coming up. I can't recall. This was.
Well,
this month.
there were three. Well, there was a minor subdivision, something on Center Cemetery.
Oh, it's Center Road. The Center
Center
Road
Road.
one, that one, I have to look that one up because if it's the one that is part of that original subdivision on Center Road that
Mhm.
had an open space subdivision, but they made really big lots. And at
Yep.
the time, there was a discussion that what if they decide to re-subdivide, will they have to do more open space? And I don't remember the outcome of that, but I don't know if this is the same property or not, but it could be.
But it's a
I have-
minor subdivision. It's only 3 lots, so I don't think we
Right.
we don't get to review that. And then there was a property that was going to add one house and they were going to cut off some land for another house. So,
I didn't think there was anything that was worthy of comment
yeah.
in the zoning packet.
Okay, Crystal, anything with open space land acquisition?
We're waiting. This is Crystal Adams. We're waiting to hear, to get a date for the next town meeting. And then we can move forward with the PDR on of the Maple Crest Farm.
Okay.
We don't have a date yet for the next town meeting.
Okay. So P and Z, there were those 2 things. Then that gas station thing may be falling through. It looks like they had a meeting and nobody representing the owners of the gas station showed up. And P and Z wanted them to cut back to just 2 pumps, and they wanted to move like the septic system, and there were still a bunch of questions, but there was a long discussion, but nobody representing the owners was there. So there's another meeting coming up, I think beginning in November. But I don't know where that stands right now. So, but we gave our 2 cents.
Well, they come up with a new proposal. This is Jean, and it's significantly different from the old one and may have other concerns. We may have to review it again.
Okay. Beth, you got anything under stewardship?
Yep. Mara and I this past weekend visited the property on Dewing School Road. And we checked out the easement boundaries, and we marked a couple places that abut with the Yale Forest over there. And we met with the owner. She was very, very helpful and, excited to show us the property. So we'll figure out our next step after this.
Great, thanks. Any questions for Beth? Hey, Jean, Pollinator Pathway Project.
Well, I held the Walktober event at my house a couple Saturdays ago, and we had, I think, 13 or 15 people that came. One from my street came and signed on to be on the pathway. One from the other end of the street couldn't make it, but she called and said she wants to be on the pathway. And people came from as far away as East Lyme to attend. Good discussion. And, it was set up to be a self-guided tour. So I made those little signs, and I had some help posting them around my property, trying to give people, a guided walk without guiding them so they could wander around on their own. And then many of them stayed later than they were supposed to, just to keep asking questions. Bill Reed was one of the people that attended. He's the chief ranger at the Last Green Valley, and he was really excited about it. And he said, "Can you do it again in spring?" I'm like, maybe not. We'll see. Because he just wants to see what the yard looks like in spring. But it went well. I didn't want a crowd. I didn't get a crowd, but I got enough people. And I already sent in all my hours to the Last Green Valley for their annual report that they will be doing for next year.
Good.
I do have a question.
Sure.
If we're going to do this successfully, we're going to have to be a little bit more organized next year. And I'm just wondering if I'm the only one that's really interested in this project and I'm on my own, or is there anybody who's interested in helping out with somehow getting the word out to people about what we're trying to accomplish, and talking to nurseries in advance to let them know that we're going to be promoting native plants so that they can perhaps change their inventory or plan their inventory to be able to accommodate people who want native plants versus annuals that are not from the area. I mean,
Jean, this is
Yes.
Jean, this is Beth. I'm happy to promote this through Goodwin and CFPA, and also perhaps we can do a public program where you come speak about it.
Oh, that'd be great. I
So
could
yeah,
do
just
that.
send me an email and we'll figure out a date.
Okay. I've also been in touch with Wyndham, and they actually got a resolution passed by the town to support their pollinator pathway initiative. And I have the language that they use, which would not be exactly the same for what we're doing. But there is an effort to not just have our town in a pollinator pathway, but to link up all the towns in the Northeast with this. It's something I really believe can catch on, with the right kind of outreach to get people to change maybe just a little bit of their yard over to pollinator habitat. So just, I have to say that I got permission to use that Facebook page, and then I never got around to logging on and starting it up. So that's my bad. I was really, really tapped out last month and then recovering from being tapped out last month, this month. So, as winter comes, I'm going to be developing a better strategy so we can really go full bore with this next year. So we get people more involved.
Very good. Any more questions for Jean? Crystal, anything up with Sustainable Connecticut? Crystal, anything up with Sustainable Connecticut?
Hi, this is Crystal Adams. No, I don't think I've received anything recently from them. Let me check. They were doing a few virtual clinics and stuff. I don't recall a recent email. The last email I got from them was September 26th. And I'm not inclined to try to get that ball rolling when everything is still virtual.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Thank
It's
you.
tough to get everybody together.
This is Jean. I have found it very frustrating to get some initiatives going when it's only online, because there are those people that just don't want to be on Zoom meetings. And I also feel you lose the participants engaging with each other. So if it's just a one-way talk and people are listening, which is what happens a lot of the times, you don't get people to share ideas as easy. They might send you a question, but they might not be able to jump on and add to what somebody else has said. So I move that we put an early end to this COVID pandemic and everybody stay well and we can get back to normal. Joking.
We're rounding the corner, Jean. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
We are rounding the corner. Okay. Under new business, the review of past, actually, I don't know why that's new business. Review of past workshops. Jean, you want to comment on that Natchog Watershed Plan meeting?
Well, I'd like to hear what you have to say about it. How did you receive it?
That was a good.
We had a couple different meetings. We had the workshop with the development review checklist and the low impact development checklist that you were at. And there's some really good discussion in that meeting, I felt. Of course, the town of Woodstock the Planning and Zoning Commission already uses the development review checklist, which I modeled the one for the Natchog after, only I added more to it with the cold water stream habitat. So there's other aspects to it. And I guess the next step would be to talk to wetlands and planning and zoning about their opinions on adopting a newer checklist. This one, of course, says it's just for the Natchog, but it applies to all drinking water supply watersheds in our town.
Yeah.
So Little River and Southbridge as well. And I had also made a set of maps that got mailed to every town hall, but only one set of maps, which was kind of like, again, very frustrating. I can't afford to make maps for everybody, but I do have links to water quality maps that I made for the town of Woodstock that shows the outlines of the Class AA watersheds, which are drinking water watersheds. I also produced a map to show cold water stream habitat and current water quality conditions and stream flow classifications for our town. So I'll have to make myself a note to send it to everybody on this commission so you could look at it. But I really like using online maps better because as data is updated, you get that more updated data. For example, the cold water stream habitat maps. It's a new thing this year. And it's based on the data they've been collecting for a long time. But I just collected more data this year that's going to change that map. So they're going to have to update that map periodically. And it's going to expand the areas that are going to be classified as cold water stream habitat. So a paper map doesn't do that as well. So I'm actually kind of trying to convince DEEP to work with the Yukon Center for Land Use Education and Research to get that data layer added to their ecological conditions online map so that it's updated and available in an easy to use format.
Cool. But it was nice for me being able to review the way we review things. So do you want to update? Do you think we should update our checklist to include some of the other?
Oh,
things that-
absolutely.
Okay.
And I also, that low impact development checklist, which you
Yeah.
need to do the first checklist first, because that's
Mhm.
your natural resource inventory. But the low impact development checklist that was developed by Mike Dietz at the Center, well, he's got a lot of titles. He's from the Non-Point Education Municipal Officials. Works for Yukon Center for Land Use Education Research, and I think the Yukon Water Research Institute as well. But he developed that checklist for the town of Mansfield. I added on by talking about riparian buffers and asking questions about, getting focused questions. Okay, have you put any rain gardens in this project area? And if not, why? Is a really nice approach because they may have a really good reason that they didn't use rain gardens in the project. But I think it starts the focus on, okay, we're going to develop this project for no runoff, no increased runoff, and give them the tools to do it and let them say why this one won't work and this one will. So I would like to propose to planning and zoning that they consider adopting use of that as well. And I'd also like to see inland wetlands and watercourse agency also adopt the use of these as well.
How do you want to send them a formal letter or go to a meeting, or how do we go about that?
I suppose it can come from you that this has been proposed, and you can say, I mean, you're interested in it. Jordan, you were there too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember who was there. Ruby was there. That we, if you like what it is, you would request that they adopt this new checklist. And what I like about the new checklist is it tells you how to get the data online as opposed to the static maps that we have on our website. And, and ask them to adopt that one in place of the one that we're currently using. And they can change the title for, if it's not just the Natchog, if it's all drinking water watershed review areas.
Can you send me a copy of the checklist so I could forward it to him so he can look at it? Gene?
And I was quite pleased that there was a new member of the Planning and Zoning Commission at the meeting. So he came and he listened, and I'm sure he's just getting familiar with everything there is. It's overwhelming when you're a new volunteer, depending on your level of experience. So that was encouraging to have someone be interested, taking on a position and taking an interest in what they're doing.
Gene, can you email me a copy of the new checklist so I could attach it when I write Jeff a letter?
Sure.
Thanks. Okay, anyone else aware of any upcoming workshops?
Can I raise my hand? This is
Jean's
Jean.
raising her hand.
NECOG is hosting a workshop the end of next month, I think. I just put it up on the Thames River Basin Partnership website. It's a kind of a land use and fair housing focus. And they're going to have a roundtable of discussion, a panel of people talking about the issues. And I can send everybody the flyer to that if anybody's interested in that aspect. I mean, it's more of a planning and zoning focus thing because we do have by law to allow affordable housing and such. And so, I mean, this is a workshop that's designed to talk about some of those issues. It looks like a good workshop, a lot of good speakers.
Okay. Anyone else have any workshop?
Yeah, this is Beth. There's a fall wildlife series through CFPA and Goodwin. You can find out more about it on ctwoodlands.org. And I don't think we have any active teachers in the group, but just in case you know any, I'm doing a workshop on November 6th for middle and high school teachers about the role of forests in climate change and how to teach that climate change and forest importance to students.
Is the Goodwin
Beth.
one a live venue or is it virtual?
Oh, no, sorry. Those are all virtual. We
Okay,
do have some live programs, but not these wildlife ones.
okay.
Beth, if you send me that information, I could forward it on to Connecticut Envirothon. Are you familiar with Envirothon?
Yeah, thank you. But I don't even think I reached out to them. So that'd be great.
Yeah, if you send me the information, I'll send it on so they can send it out to the teachers that are registered because that's your audience, you know.
Thank you.
Okay, time for open discussion. Beth, you got anything else?
No, I'm just curious if you found someone for a drought monitor.
Yeah, last month, Crystal said it, she found. we
Oh,
found
okay. I
some-
missed that. Okay,
That's in the minutes.
great.
Yeah, that's,
Um,
I'm glad they found somebody, but I'm not seeing anything posted about the drought. I mean, we're still in severe drought. So I would
Crystal
like,
Adams.
sorry,
This is Crystal Adams. I posted the information about the drought on the town website and Facebook page when we first got the drought map, and we have not received any further communications. When we do, I will post them.
oh, okay, well, we're still in a severe drought. So
Right, but I
I
have no
will,
further communications from the state.
yeah, there's there's a special website where you can get the current information from. I think they're not sending it out. I think you have to go find it. It's
Well,
what it looks like.
that's one of the duties of our drought coordinator is to facilitate that information. And so when I get information, I'll post it.
Would it be worth inviting our drought coordinator to a future meeting so we can talk about developing a drought management plan for the town, which is something that we are allowed to do under state statute?
I don't know. We could ask him.
Is this something that other people think that is worth doing? Let them know
Absolutely.
we can
Yeah,
do
Yes, I think it
this
is.
and-
This is going to be a multi-year drought, you know, with climate change. This is not just, it's not a flash in the pan. We're going to be dealing with this for years to come. So, you know, and anything we can do to be proactive, I think would be important. So I think that's a good idea.
And so would we be creating this plan with the drought monitor, or would the drought monitor be creating it, or like
I
who
think
would
there's
be?
pretty much a template for this. I don't think we have to create anything. We just have to adopt and adapt it. You know, adapt it to our town and then adopt it. And, but, you know, it's for one person to do it is a big ask. And I believe, if I don't recall the person's name, but I believe this person has a lot of responsibility anyway.
This is
But,
Crystal Adams. It is Josh Batone. He's also our emergency management director. So I know he
Right.
does have a lot, but I believe on the Connecticut State website about the drought, there is a template ordinance.
Right. And I think that we can look at it and see how it relates to our town.
Yeah, Crystal, do you run into him at all?
I email him sometimes.
Yeah, if you just, can you ask him if he'd be if we could help
Yeah.
him?
Yeah, definitely. I can do that.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I mean,
Okay, George-
if we were to take the template and adapt it and then work with him to get it to a town meeting to be considered to be adopted as an ordinance, that's a very positive reaction to what we're supposed to be doing. It's within our purview. It's something that's overdue.
Do you have any
And-
idea I'm sorry to interrupt. This is Pam. Do you have any idea what sort of things would be in an ordinance about, drought management for homeowners?
I believe, like, they can't make you do anything because we all have private wells for the most part,
Yeah.
but it can be, I don't know what any enforcement could be, but certainly if people are watering their lawns excessively and impacting their neighbors' well, that's not very friendly.
Right.
So it's a lot of outreach involved. And when we get to a critical stage, then we could say, okay, you shouldn't be watering your lawns or washing your cars. And that should be announced. Not that we have any enforcement, abilities, nor do I think the town would want to do it through the constables or the first selectman or whatever, but it's still just to say that we're aware that droughts happen and we need to be thinking of everybody is important. I have to
That's a
read through the ordinance to see exactly what we could put in it and how it would make a difference, but we have a
That's
lot
a
of homes that have automatic sprinkler systems and such that really should be used less or timed right or
Right.
calibrated or, all those different things.
Okay.
That's a great idea, Gene, and it may be a great idea for Ag Day next year.
This is Crystal Adams. I've just put the drought information from the portal, and I believe on page 35 is a sample model water use restriction ordinance. If you want to take a look at it.
Does anybody know if there's a way to put a gauge in your well to see how much water you have? Like a fuel gauge, full empty?
Well, it doesn't quite work that way because as you draw your water out, it's gonna refill. And you can, think of a really, really thick milkshake and you're using a straw and you're sucking at the top, you get a cone of depression around the straw. That's what happens in your well. You can get a temporary cone of depression. You stop using your well and the water kind of comes back slowly, but it doesn't always in every case. And I'm kind of curious how many homes in Woodstock were impacted by the drought this year. And I'm assuming the water table's coming up a little bit, but not significantly yet. So, just education and outreach is really important.
Right. I'm just concerned just concerned my well might run dry.
This is Beth. Yeah, that property that we visited for stewardship, they actually said that they just had to get a new well dug.
Yeah, this is when you find out, this is Jean, this is when you find out that dug wells are the first ones to dry up as the water table recedes. And a lot of people with dug wells would be better served if they had drilled wells anyway, but it's just not an expense you want to come upon without planning for it. And Crystal, how did you make out when you lowered your well pump?
So far, so good. We're being conservative with our water use still, but we did lower it, I think 10 feet. And so far we've had no problems.
Yeah, it's Every time I turn my water on, I hope it's okay. We have a pond on the adjoining property. And you can literally see, because it's groundwater fed, that the pond is down at least 6 feet. So, and that's vertical. So it really dropped because the water table's gone down because there's no rain, but the leaves are falling off the trees. So there's going to be less transpiration. So we should have less water being drawn out of the ground by vegetation as we go into winter. And hopefully we're going to get some rain to restore the groundwater levels again.
Yeah.
but Pam, did you have something to say?
No, I was just listening to I know someone else who's in town who's very nervous about their well drying out. It's a very old house with a, dug well. And so I was just wondering, what sort of restrictions there could be in place to protect the water table.
Yeah, I mean, eventually we're gonna have to think outside the box, because like I said, this is probably a multi-year phenomenon brought on by climate change, and there's gonna be wells drying up if we don't really plan for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Jordan, you got anything?
Good.
Crystal?
Good.
Pam? Pam, you got anything else?
No, I'm afraid I don't.
That's okay. Jean, what
Well,
you got?
I just know that Witches Woods had an issue with cyanobacteria bloom this summer, late summer, with the low flushing rates. They called and asked for advice, and I was able to send someone over to sample it and confirm that the scum on the surface in one of their coves was actually a cyanobacteria bloom. So
Right.
hopefully that'll get flushed out once we get some rain and the water starts to flow over the dam again.
Yeah.
That's also a big growing concern as we go into the changing climate. And I think this summer, didn't we have a record number of 90-degree days?
Yep.
Which is exactly the right conditions for promoting cyanobacteria blooms, because they like hot water, warm water at the surface.
Just great. Okay. Anything else for the good of the order? Anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
This is
Jean
Beth,
Pillow.
make a,
To Jean, any second? Jean got
this
to
is
you
Beth, I
first.
second.
That second, okay. So at 7:40, the meeting is adjourned. Everybody stay safe. Have a great, are we gonna,
It's the month, it's a Thanksgiving month. You can say happy Thanksgiving.
yeah, I didn't know whether our meeting was before, our meeting will be after Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving.
Wait, what
Happy
is it?
Halloween.
Yes. Happy Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Or happy watching the Hallmark movie that was filmed in Woodstock in a heat wave on Halloween, Christmas.
When's
that
that
on?
coming out?
I think it's on
Halloween night at
Halloween.
8 o'clock.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Of course. When else do you put Christmas movies on that were filmed in heat waves?
Okay.
Oh my God.
I talked to Richard up at the Inn at Woodstock Hill, and he said he felt so bad for the actors who had to be outside in winter coats
Oh, no.
when it was 95 out. He said it
Whoa.
was awful.
Mm.
So,
So our next meeting is the 30th?
Okay.
Is that was a question, not.
Let me take a look at my calendar.
Okay.
No, it would be the 23rd.
Okay.
so
Because
that's
we're the
before
fourth.
Thanksgiving.
So it's before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the fourth. The fourth Monday is the 23rd.
Okay,
So I take back my happy Thanksgiving. I'll delay
okay.
it until
We'll
next week.
save it. But we'll still watch our heat wave Christmas movie on Halloween.
I'll
And
say
when do we-
happy election day and everybody get out and vote, please.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Where do we find
Okay,
the
everybody
agenda?
take care, stay
Wait,
safe.
wait, Lee, where do
Good
we
night.
find the number to join the meeting at?
For the NECOG meeting?
No, for this meeting, I was, I kept asking where
It's
the
in-
meeting, Zoom meeting number was. Where does that come in from?
It's in the agenda. It's a link when Grace sends out the agenda. It's the bottom of the agenda. You just hit it and it
All right.
automatically links.
Yeah, Jordan, I posted the agenda in the chat as a response
Yeah,
to your
I did
question.
get that. Yeah, I got that. Thank you. But I don't,
But it's part of Grace's agenda.
I don't usually open it up. I'll have to open it on my computer then, because it doesn't show up on my phone. That's why.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Hey, bye-bye.
Good night.
Night.